So I decided why not talk about my spring favorite books, because I read a lot of books, so I often get asked like, well, like, what was your favorites? And I'm like, I don't know. So I made a list, and I've been doing monthly ones, and I'm also going to do like quarterly as well, because I think it's fun to like really look back over a while. And so here is spring, because pretty much we're into summer now. So like June's like next week. So here we are. So I read 23 books that were my five out of fives are what is qualifying as my favorites. There's a lot of other ones I enjoyed, but I'm saving a lot of that for Witchtober when I'm doing a whole month just on recommended books. Basically, it's spiraled into like, what books do I recommend on this or that or this? It's a lot of them that I'm slowly making long lists. It's gonna happen for October, but for now I just wanted to talk about my absolute favorites. Most of these are witchy. There are a few that are not, but it's fine. These are ones that I have read since January to now that I have loved. So starting off, I loved Witch in Darkness. I think it's such a good book. If you don't know what it is, I should have wrote down every single author, and I 1000% didn't. I think editing me is gonna put the covers, but like, as I was recording today, because this is my 7th video I've recorded, I just wrote these down as I was waiting for the camera to underheat, and I'm just like now looking at this going, I should have put the freaking authors. I don't know any of them. I mean, I know a couple. Like, I know Witch in Darkness is gonna be Kellyanne. Literally the next one I don't remember at all. So nailed it, being a professional. Anyways, Witch in Darkness is fantastic. If you haven't read it, I recommend it, along with her other book, Rebel Witch, because honestly it's kind of a vibe. It's kind of my sort of witchcraft. Basically, for Witch in Darkness, if you are struggling a lot, if you're going through a lot of really dark times, hence darkness, it's a great book. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on all of these. I will link the full reviews below if you want to check out the whole discussions, because obviously the ones I love, I can ramble endlessly, and I've got 23 to go through, so we gotta not spend 400 years on one. The next one is The Essential Guide to Wicca for Beginners. I'm gonna be so for real, this is why I need to do these, because I forget the books I read. Like, I read so many of them that only a handful really stand out, and this one I was like, why did I love this one? And then I remembered, it's not one for me that I love, but it's just a great book. It's a great one for beginner witches. Am I a beginner witch? No. That's why it probably isn't like, oh my god. But I went through my notes and I was like, oh yeah, this is why I take notes. Because like, it's not just for you, it's not for your script-ish. Really, it's just like a bullet point list notes. But like, this is for me to jog the brain, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's why. So if you also have that problem because you also read an obscene amount of books, yeah, do that. Make yourself a gajillion documents of your notes per book, and then it will remember the brain. It's awesome. I do need to put the covers though. I haven't, and I'm like, I cannot for the life of me even remember what this cover looks like, but I remember I liked it. So it's really good for beginner witches. Next is a little bit of Reiki. This is the first book that I read about Reiki, I think potentially ever, but it was so good. It really introduced me and explained it in like such a nice way that it really, like, I still haven't done Reiki, obviously. I think I would have talked about it if I had, but I'm really intrigued at the concept. I've been tempted, but then money, so I don't. One day I'll have that kind of spare money to just go do Reiki, but instead I like food, so I'm gonna pick that over an energy healing. That's gonna take half my grocery budget. Continuing along though, we have The Art of Dream Interpretation. This is still, like, the cover was so ugly, but I loved this book. It is the only one I've ever read, and I've read other books for dreams. We know this. But this was still the one that I'm like, I need a copy. Because, like, there's some that I want to go back to the interpretations because it's the most accurate out of every single one ever. And it still scares me how accurate it was, and it really makes you think about it, and you're not just left to your own devices and you're like, oh my god, it doesn't apply. This was scary accurate, and I loved that. It's one that I need it for in like the dream section of my library, so I'm like, what does this mean? I can pull that out and go to the section and be like, oh, that's what it means. Next, these two kind of go together. It's The Torch of Bridget and Tending Bridget's Flame. If you want to learn about Bridget, and obviously I was reading this during her season, it's fantastic. It's got so much good information for both of them on this goddess. Some of them aren't fantastic. These both were amazing if you want to learn about her. Next is Chakra Empowerment for Women. This one is so interesting. It really takes the chakras to a new level, and every single one of them has their own like very distinct sort of visualization and exercise. It ends up being, I think it was like 11 or 12 different visualization chapter things that you're supposed to do. It was amazing. Like, I kept that book until the very last time, and it was like, okay, I gotta return it. I don't want to pay monies, but I need to return it, but I loved it. It's one I do plan to get. I loved the exercises. If you want to get into chakras, it is mostly aimed at women, but to be honest, I don't think it has to just be for women. I think men could easily get stuff out of it too. And the exercises were really, really awesome. Next we have The Teen Witch's Guide to Spells. This was the one that was not by Claire. It was by like Xana, and I loved it. It was so good. And it's like, it's some of those, like the spells were really great, but also it's just so nice to start thinking of my little like witchy basket. I will, not a basket, a cauldron. Oh my God. See, I am gonna just have everything ever ready for when I have kids, before I even start the journey to a surrogate or potentially adoption. I don't want to like totally close that road. I just prefer to go through surrogacy. But like, just like eventually when I have kids, I'm just gonna have like everything ever set up. And like, instead of, I was picturing like this cute like little like wicker basket with all of their books and stuff that I'm gonna give them, and now it's like literally a witchcraft book and you're not gonna give it to them in like a cauldron? What the, oh my God. Just picture it. Like those plastic big ones for like putting candy in like Halloween, but with books. Oh, it's gonna be awesome. Hopefully YouTube is still around. Hopefully y'all are still around when that happens. Hopefully it'll be within the next decade. But then I can be like, oh my God, look, me. I'm gonna be such a dork of a mom. Just wait, it's gonna be awesome. Next was Japanese Myths, and that one was so good. I didn't know much about anything at all for the Japanese. I'm not one of those people that was like really weirdly obsessed with Japan. We've had quite a few people who are like real obsessed with Japan and Japanese culture. I've just never really cared. Like, I don't have anything against it. I'm like, cool, they have sometimes good food. I mostly think of anywhere generally over in that region. Usually it's gonna be like sushi, kind of fishy, nasty, gross. I know now that they've got other options. Obviously, I watch Disney vloggers. Like, what is it? Ordinary Adventures. I love watching their videos. But yeah, like this was the first book that I was like, oh, Japanese culture. This is actually really interesting. And I loved that. It was such a good introduction. Then we have got The Witch. This is the longest title ever in the history of titles. I changed my own because it was too much of a mouthful, and this was like why. The Witches of the Forest's Guide to Earth Magic. That is the actual title, not subtitle, full title. Wow, yeah, it's a mouthful. Really great for beginner witches. I thought I was gonna hate it, and actually it's one of the best ones. And then we also have The Everyday Witch Book of Rituals. Anything by Deborah Blake. Bro, it's so good. I loved it. It was so awesome. And it was just a warm hug from my past of like witchery, and it was great. And so, yeah, I'm gonna let the camera underheat because this is the last recording. That's always how it goes. So I'm gonna let this underheat, and then we'll go through the rest of it. For you, it'll be mere seconds. For me, I gotta go literally scroll my phone for like 15 minutes for it to stop freaking out. So I'll see you in a second. Let's see if we can finish this video in just this last take and not have to stop again. Fingers crossed. So, continuing along, we have got Modern Astrology. This was such a good book. It was, I think, the most accurate one I have found yet, and I really, really loved it. And it's one that I plan to probably use again with our pagan parenting to give to our kids for astrology. It was a really, really good resource if you want to learn about your signs. Next we've got Magical Power. Was that even the full title? I don't even think so. I think it was just like my quick title, to be honest. I think it was by Deborah Lip though. But her book, I think it was like the beginner's guide to something. Anyways, it was her book on like magic and spells, and like how somebody can write a whole book on that kind of a topic still inspires me. Because like it's sort of like the ones where like if you write on like the tool just in and of itself and you have like a full-sized book, that's impressive. And this one, it was just so good on like why your spells aren't working, all of the techniques and different little tip things throughout. It was really, really well written on just your spell work as a whole. Heal Your Inner Wounds was such a good book. So it is one that is very much dive into your shadow work. It goes into really a lot leading up to your Saturn return if you are coming around to that time frame, because it goes over your inner child, your inner teenager, your young adult, and then also your I think it was your light and dark self, and then your masculine and feminine self. I think that was all of them. But it's got a little bit of everything in there. But again, it's really for like that specific first chunk of life, because usually it's after that is when you move into the next phase, aka after your Saturn return usually. That'll be like maybe focusing more on career or parenting or whatever you're gonna do with your life, you know? Like, those are kind of the two main things. You're either gonna move into like parenting is like your main thing, or it's like your career. Like it's gonna be the highlight of your career time, or you're just gonna be meandering. I don't know, maybe you're falling in love. Who knows? You're out partying still. I don't know how many 30-year-olds that are doing that though. Like, to be honest, at that point, the body's old. Like, I swear, like, you hit the late 20s and you're like, oh, I'm fine. And then my husband, who is now into his 30s, is like, I'm dying. I slept wrong, I can't move. And it's like every single person we've known in their 30s, same thing. You just get old. The body just like does not respond. And so I don't see a whole lot of partiers at like their 30s. Like you're over here like, I need to have my comfy shoes and I need to have my Advil or my Tylenol and I need to drink water and take my vitamins, you know? So anyways, is that the point? No. Next was the neuroscience of tarot. The science meets the metaphysical just always amazes me. It was so fascinating to learn about. Was it way above my brain? Yeah, I don't know a lot, but wow, somebody was really smart to put that one together. It's not even a big book, but it is dense. I don't feel like starting this over, so if you hear background noise, the family came in. So we're gonna try and just zoom through the rest of these because I've taken the whole morning of recording and I'm like, leave me be. One of these days, I'm gonna get me like a recording place. There's some houses out here in Utah, they have like a separate building as like a mother-in-law apartment. And when I have money, that is my goal, because I want a house like that where I have my actual office and I can just record in peace and not have to keep stopping. Oh my God, it's gonna be awesome one day. Anyways, and then when I have kids, it'll be like, bye, mom's going to the office. Adios. Anyways, so continuing as much more quickly than I was, the Junior Astrologer's Handbook, I think actually might have been like the best for astrology. It was so scary accurate. And I think that was the one that actually talked about the decants or something. Maybe it was the other one. One of them talked about it, but it was amazing. And I know this one was really good for our kids, for like learning stuff. Then we have also on the note of children's, How to Be a Witch. And this is a kid's book. It's a little picture book, but it is so good. And it's one I cannot wait to have. Again, there's a few of like the pagan witchy kid books that I'm so stoked to get and have for our kids, and eventually I will talk about them when I have kids. So continue to watch and like and subscribe and do the things to post the video to more people, because that is how I will be able to become a pagan mom or a witchy mom. I really haven't decided which one I'm gonna go with. It's a bit of both, really. Then we have Bud, Blossom, and Leaf. That one was a really fun book by Dorothy Morrison, all about gardening and really going in depth about it. Next, we've got Stop Checking Your Likes. This one was so relevant to my life. Pretty much what the title suggests. Don't get caught up in the likes and actually like live your life and not look for outside validation. Such a good book. Then we have The Little Witch's Book of Spells. Me and my husband are still thinking about this one. It is such a great one for kids. Again, it's going to be in the little cauldron that we give to our children of books. It's going to be awesome. Like some of these spells, I'm just like, dude, my inner child wants to do these. These sound like so much fun. Like the chalk one and the fort. Oh my God, they're so great. Then we have the Elixir of Sleep. Again, much like the Neuroscience of Tarot, I love when a professional joins in, but like is a professional in that field. Because I actually recorded one today that is Turn Your Dreams into Reality. And it's one of those where they add the PhD, but it obviously does not apply to the topic they're talking about. Whereas the neuroscience dude, I think he had PhD, also definitely knew what he was talking about. And the elixir of sleep, same thing. I think she also had PhD. And that mattered. It actually was a PhD in the topic they're talking about. And you can tell they're really smart and they know their stuff. And they've got the sciencey side mixed with the metaphysical, and it was awesome. And that was the last of the witchy ones. I have a couple that were my not witchy ones that were really fun, that I really loved. And honestly, one was like a cusp, and that was The Reckoning of Roku. Oh my god, it's so good. If you loved Avatar, it's like a bonus option, but like, I gave it a 4, but like, it was between a 4 and a 5. And it was really good, and I really loved it. And I'm excited for the next one. I think it comes out in like a couple months. I think it's like the end of July is when the next one comes out, because they always do 2 books for the novels. And so like Kyoshi had 2, Yan Chen, how are you supposed to pronounce that? She had 2, and now Roku's gonna have 2, and they're so good. So excited. Honestly, I think the books are better. I wish they would have done the books for the end of Aang's story, because like, I can't read the comics. I have tried. I cannot read a comic book to save my life. I can't do it. I do not have that skill. I mean, technically I could read it, but it's not like enjoying the story like I do with a book, you know? Anyways, the other 2 that I really liked are both from Dolly, of course. Dolly Parton Dolly. And the first one is Behind the Seams, and definitely it's on Libby as an audiobook. You need to, as many of hers as you can do as an audiobook, you need to do. They're so good. This one is going through her life behind the seams, and it talks about a lot of her fashion and stuff. It's got interviews with everyone. It plays her songs throughout. It's incredible to hear her story. And the other one is Dream More. It was a like commencement speech that she gave, and then she kind of expanded it into a full book. And of course it pulls from her story and then just her advice for people. It's not a very big book, but honestly it is so good. Even the chapter that's on her religion, and obviously we're very vastly different, but much like how she views it, and like Reba, some of them are a little bit more pagan than I think they would care to admit. Whereas like you go out in nature to connect and you're like, ah, that's, the pagan roots are sneaking in because it's great. But like honestly, on a whole, I mean, if you replace where she's talking about her faith and you switch it in to whatever deity or spirit animal or element or whatever you're connecting with, you're gonna kind of get the same vibe though. Like, if you think about your patron or your matron deity, like, yeah, the same thing's gonna apply though. It was really, really, really well written. I love Dolly anyways, and she's just such an inspiration. I mean, Homegirl's written like 3,000 songs. Bro, I'm sitting over here like barely scuffing out 10 books, and she's done 3,000. Do you know how many that's like in a month? I think it was like almost 300 a month that she had to write. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot. Like, that's so many per day that you have to, it's a lot. That takes skill. Like, that makes my rapid release brain just glitch because there's no way. And I know songs are shorter, but also, I mean, to come up with the melody and stuff, that takes a lot of brain. I can't. I could never. So anyways, my camera's gonna overheat any second now. So those are all of my favorite books that I have read from, oh my god, did I not even do, oh, I might have messed up. Now that I think about it, oop, because I read other fiction ones. Was that the only one? I think I messed up. Yeah, because I loved Creepy Kitchen. I talked about that last time. That one was a fun Halloween cookbook. And then I thankfully have my master file. Oh man, I didn't read any fiction in March. Look at me go. Okay, Making It So by Patrick Stewart. Oh my god, that one was so good. That's the one that was tripping me out. I'm like, I know I had another one. Making It So is, ignore the cat using her scratcher right now. That one is about his life story, and it is phenomenal. It takes so long to get to even where he's at Picard. And it's incredible. Like, if you love Patrick Stewart, you gotta read it. Okay, and then I think that was it. Because I've read others that are not witchy and I haven't talked about at all. They're in a secret series. But maybe as a bonus, we're just gonna throw them in real quick. ABA, Guide to Assisted Reproduction by Jeffrey A. Caskey and Marla Neufeld. That one, yup. I need to buy that book. It's so good. I recommend it all of the time in the infertility groups. If you're gonna do surrogacy, you need to read this book before you start on that journey. It sets you up for your reality of living. And then Montessori for Every Family. Oh my god, it's so good. like there's implementings of that already taking place. Not as much as I would love because money, but like the idea of setting the table, I started a little bit, but didn't go very far. And I love the idea of like how you're supposed to have like a weekly family meeting. I really love that. Me and husband are like, we need to start doing that and like getting it like solid of how we're gonna do that before we have kids. So yeah, it's a really good book if you're planning to have kids and you want to raise them in a Montessori home. It's a really good place to start. I've listened to the audiobook. I really loved it. Do I agree with everything? No. Like, we're both pretty hardcore that praising your child is not the enemy. I think it's okay to say they did a good job. Why that's a problem. So I haven't really had that really explained in a way that fits my brain yet. So we're kind of skipping that. That part's dumb. I don't think anyone ever sticks to anything 100%. But if you're wanting to look into Montessori, it's a really good place to start. So anyways, those are actually all of the books from the first chunk of this year, kind of spring-ish, that I have read and loved. So anyways, until next time, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe again so that these last couple books will actually matter and I can talk about them. It's gonna be great. So anyways, until next time, thank you so much for coming along. Thank you to my Patreon peeps. You also get a bunch of other stuff, but again, these last couple, it's gonna be years before you see it, because that's my maternity leave. I'm recording this secret series, and then I'm gonna hit publish when I actually have kids. So it's gonna be a weird flashback from like this era of my life. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So anyways, till next time, thank you and blessed be.